Up next, Forum Daily's Energy Update with Dan McTeague, who runs the gas price prediction website, GasWizard.ca. Take it away, Dan.
Well, thank you for that, Nima. What a week again, breaking all records across Canada for gasoline prices. Who thought that gasoline was boring or unnecessary or something we could simply wish away? We'll leave that to our federal politicians and the NDP and Liberal and Green and Bloc parties. For now, let's look at what we can expect next week, gas prices. And I'll start this time in the east. Newfoundland has seen a decrease today of 10 cents a litre. The Public Utilities Board there finally agreed that the markets had indeed dropped dramatically. So rather than raising prices as they did on Thursday, they decided to drop them. I suspect that this is probably as good as it's going to get. Unfortunately, like Nova Scotia, which has a regulated market, New Brunswick and PEI, you kind of always have to pay a much higher price until they figure out their synthetic market can work better. It's a real call for the fact that you should abandon regulated prices. There's absolutely no reason for it whatsoever. It's only hurting consumers, not just for gasoline, but for diesel and heating oil. They take too much time in order to reflect what's happening on the markets. And there's predictability. Every second day or every day or so, you can get predictions, not just from myself, but there are others who have decided to copy the work that I've done, and that's a good thing. So as far as Montreal is concerned, Quebec, you're going to be looking at prices this long weekend that will probably go back up from $2.02 up to about $2.06 to $2.08. Toronto, you're looking at prices that have dropped 10 cents a litre, as I had predicted, down to $1.96.9. Today's the last day to take advantage of that. Up 4 cents on Saturday, possibly 2 cents on Sunday. So back up and above the $2.04 range, likely for the remainder of the week. For the West, you're looking at a very similar situation, although no change. Prices have gone up and down on the wholesale front. So Winnipeg, Regina, Saskatoon, those two provinces remain at $1.87.9. Same for Alberta, Calgary and Edmonton, 161.9 at the top end. 171.9 at the top end for Calgary and 168 for Calgary. Look for those prices to remain. The only difference is really the retail margin. BC Interior, 201, 203 for Prince George, for Kelowna, for Kamloops. Look for those to drop about 6 or 7 cents a litre, down to about the mid $1.90 range. Vancouver, you saw a bit of a break down from the record of any city in North America of 233.9, dropped to 214.9, now back up to 220.9, and you're probably going to be about 225 for the remainder of the week. Important to know, while Canada's going into the long weekend, the kickoff of its summer driving season, and many people, despite these prices, will still have to drive, it's the United States that begins next week. That's when we will start to see gas prices go even higher. Although diesel we may be getting a bit of a break on diesel as refineries try to reconfigure their output to produce more of that diesel, which is in very, very short supply and very high demand. We're going to see gasoline prices impacted by that. China as well, coming back online after its 17th, 18th, 19th, 2007 wave. We're likely to see more pressure on oil. This is the time of year where gasoline prices detach from oil. So looking at oil and saying, hey, prices didn't move for oil, how come gas prices are going up? You have to look at the gasoline market itself, and that's going to be a pretty big impact going forward. I suspect that average prices in Canada by this time next week, Friday, the end of last week of May, will likely lead to an across-the-board increase of about 5 cents a litre. So it doesn't really matter where you are in the country. You will see prices move back up, possibly to records that we saw on Sunday to Wednesday, when we saw 209.9, for instance, in Toronto, Ottawa, Hamilton, London, and all those major places. At the same time, federal government doesn't seem to be willing to rebate the billions of dollars it's raking in on the GST applied to the additional 80 cents a litre year over year. And it's not lost on folks like myself that food prices and every other commodity we have are badly impacted by a government that wants to double down, triple down on its green energy policies. A complete failure in Europe, walked into Putin's hands. Canada could do more, sell more oil to the rest of the world, drop oil prices, increase the value of the Canadian dollar, save you and I 50 cents a litre. But that's just not something this federal government wants to acknowledge. Sooner or later, consumers are going to have to speak up, and they're going to have to speak very loudly. Nima, that's it for this week. We'll talk next week. Have a great long weekend.
Lots to consider, Dan. That was Dan McTeague, president of Canadians for Affordable Energy and the operator of GasWizard.ca.